Let me first of all say my condolences to Sister Martin Burrow and Johnny and Esther, to the McGarrels and the Teixeiras. Those who have known Pastor Martin Burrow have testified that he was multi-talented and multi-gifted. By any dimension, the pastor was a consecrated, anointed, godly Christian gentleman. His prayer life was unmatched. When he gets into the car on any interview or any discussion, he would usually say, "Let us bow our heads for prayer." Pastor Martin Burrow was a super organizer. He came to the office every morning with a written agenda of items to be accomplished that day. His giftedness was manifested in his brilliance, in his exegetical skills. He could make some dull passages of scripture come alive. His administrative abilities were recognized by all those who worked closely with him in the Guyana Conference and the Caribbean Union Conference, and also in the Indo-American Division. He was a great chairman of boards and committees. Pastor Martin Burrow had the ability to motivate people, especially when it comes to evangelism. He had a great passion for organizing the laity to get involved in evangelism. I recall the occasion when he and I teamed up and organized about 40 lay crusades in the city of Georgetown. Some of the people who preached had never stood behind a podium. And it was during his tenure as president that he developed the immortal song that still motivates laity and clergy in Guyana. And the song was, or is, a finished work in all Guyana, be it Berbice or Demerara, Essequibo or South Savannah. It's harvest time. It's harvest time. Pastor Martin Burrow had an unusual ability to blend biblical materials with practical everyday living in family life. After producing a series of lessons for pastors and laity, he acted on my suggestion to produce a series of blended Bible and healthful living series. He was able to get a number of medical persons to contribute to this project, including the late Colin Parkinson. Pastor Martin Burrow was a genius. I began my ministry under his tutelage, from the college to the conference office, into his car, to his home in Tambrin Dam, Wiedenhoop, one Friday afternoon in June. I lived at the Martin Burrow's home for 3 months. I ate from Sister Martin Burrow's hand delicious vegetarian dishes. I was able to see my mentor in unveiled dimensions. His prayer life was amazing. Every morning, I could see him in the corner of the living room while his wife used to study. pleading with God on his knees. It would seem as if he was on holy ground. I had only 3 months internship with him. We visited members. I sat on boards with him. We dealt with erring members, etc., etc. But those 3 months were responsible to a large extent for the success of my ministry. I learned that G.O. Martinborough, that G.O. meant go. My mentor was an indefatigable worker, a man who had a spring in his steps. And yet, if you knew him well, there was a gentleness and a caring side of his character. He and his wife, Waveney, were soulmates and teammates. Pastor Martinborough was blessed, a man with a vision and with a passion. Let me close with these 2 statements. The first is taken from 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 7. And I quote, "But we have this treasure in earthen vessel, that the glory might be of God and not of man." Unquote. The second statement is taken from Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. At the burial of Brutus, Mark Antony said these immortal words, and I quote, "His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, 'This was a man.'" Unquote. Goodbye, my mentor. Your legacy lives on.